Hello, I'm Allison Ladon Daroui. Welcome to the Ladon Method. We're about to get started in our chill class. So all you need is your mat, some comfortable clothes, and let's get moving. So let's start off today in our tabletop. So stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Moving through cat and cow to begin, dropping the belly low, bringing the chin and hips high. As you exhale, hollow out, coming into cat, chin towards chest, pelvis towards navel. Inhale, dropping the belly low, exhaling, hollowing it out. As you continue to transition, the movement might become more exaggerated as you begin to loosen up a bit. And from here, you can close the eyes, really awakening the sensations of the body as you begin to come into your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose, finding that slight constriction in the back of your throat. You want to find a rhythmic breath while at the same time finding that full capacity of the lungs. Good. Once you're ready, let's find a nice neutral spine. From here, we'll lift the left fingertips high. Take a nice big inhale. You're leading with the chest, reaching the fingertips in line with your shoulder rather than the arm going past the shoulder. And from here, on an exhale, you're going to thread that left arm under, but you're not coming all the way down. You can find a little bend in your right elbow. Inhale, we'll reach the chest high, reaching your fingertips high, feeling that rotation. Exhale, thread the arm under, moving at your own pace. Again, with this motion, it might become more exaggerated as you begin to loosen up a bit. Good. Let's take one more round. And then this next round, we're going to thread the needle, swooping that left arm beneath the right and bring your left shoulder, left side of the head, all the way down to the mat. You have some options here. You can walk your right fingertips forward towards the top of the mat, staying here, or you can place your right hand on top of the left, sliding your left fingertips towards that right side wall, exaggerating your twist, and really breathing into that upper back area, that area between your shoulder blades. You have another option too, where you can take a half bind, wrapping your right arm across the back, grabbing for your left hip crease. And you have one more option here. You can play with a balancing posture. I'll warn you that this is a pretty common one to fall over in, and I suggest placing the right hand on top of the left in terms of the arm variations. If you decide to take the balancing posture, you'll extend your right leg high, either pointing or flexing that lifted foot. Pick one or the other, just so you're engaging the muscles in the lifted leg, so it's less of dead weight just flopping around here, and you'll feel greater stability. And once you're ready, you can lower that right knee down, place your right hand back onto the mat, and we'll reach those left fingertips high, opening the chest towards that left side. Good. You can lower the hand down. And we'll prepare to come on to the other side, but let's just take a couple rounds of cat and cow before we make our way there. Checking in with the breath. Now once you're ready, let's find that nice neutral spine. We'll reach the right fingertips high, opening the chest towards the right, then thread that right arm under. We're taking a few rounds here, just moving at your own pace, inhaling as you open the chest to the right, exhaling as you thread it under. Beautiful. Let's take one more. And then on this next round, we will thread completely. So bringing your right shoulder, right side of the head, all the way down to the mat. You have all the same options you had on the first side. So maybe you're walking those left fingertips forward. Maybe you're placing your left hand on top of the right, exaggerating the twist here. Pressing that left palm into the right, feeling those right fingertips slide towards the left side wall. And then maybe you're taking a half bind, or you can play with the balancing posture. Again, I recommend placing your left hand on top of the right if you're playing with the balancing posture. You're less likely to fall over because the weight is moving in opposite directions. So if you decide to take it, it's the left leg that lifts high on this side, either pointing or flexing that lifted foot. Again, engaging the muscles in that lifted leg, and you'll feel more stable and steady rather than dead weight just moving around. Then you're going to feel quite a bit of wobbling here. Good, breathing into it. Then once you're ready, you'll lower your left knee down, place your left hand back onto the mat, and we'll open up the chest, opening the heart towards that right side wall, and take it back in to your tabletop. From here, we'll curl the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, coming into our down dog. Take a moment here to come into your high plank, top of a push-up, stacking your shoulders right above wrists here, and then lift your hips up and back, returning to your down dog. You might step your feet in a little bit closer if it allows you to feel a bit more stable here. Try to give more attention to the lengthening of your spine here rather than the straightening of your legs. If you have pretty tight hamstrings, you can bring a bend in both knees. It'll allow you to straighten out the spine a bit more, finding a neutral spine rather than curving it here. At the same time, wherever you are, feel your sit bones, your hips reach up and back towards where the back wall and the ceiling meet. You might begin to pedal out the feet here, bending one knee, then the other, allowing the opposite heel to melt a little bit closer to the mat. Good. Once you're ready, find stillness. You can look to the top of the mat and begin walking your feet behind your hands, bringing your feet hip distance parallel to one another. You can always measure hip distance with 2 fist widths between your toes. And from here, keep your hips nice and squared off to the top of your mat as you walk your fingertips over to the outside of your left foot. Try to relax the torso down, try to relax the head and neck. You can always bring a nice bend into your knees so that the belly can relax onto the thighs. Again, if you feel comfortable in the hamstrings, that's a nice alternative. And once you're ready, you can walk those fingertips over to the outside of your right foot. Again, make sure you're releasing the tension from the back of the neck. I know a lot of us might be looking forward, but try to let your head hang heavy here. And then eventually we'll take it back to center. On an inhale, lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. So you can place your fingertips onto your shins right beneath the knees. Puff out your chest here. Try not to hunch. Create space between your shoulders and your ears. Nice long necks. Then interlace the fingers above the sacrum. Your palms are coming towards one another, facing one another. If this is a challenging grip, you can always grip on to a strap. You can grab a towel, pillowcase, a t-shirt, just something that you can grip onto. And if you're using a strap or the like, you want to make sure your palms are facing upward as you grip it rather than downward. Wherever you are, you really want to open the chest. So feel your shoulder blades move towards one another as the shoulders relax away from the ears. And then from here, wherever you are, find a nice bend in your right knee and we'll open up the chest towards the left. Feeling your interlaced fingers reach towards the back of the room as your chest rotates maybe a little bit more to the left. Breathing into it. Eventually we'll take it to center. We'll bend in that left knee, opening the chest towards the right side. Breathing into it, seeing where you want to take it on this side. Then we'll take it back to center. You can begin to hinge forward maybe a little bit more at the hips, allowing the interlaced fingers to reach overhead towards the top of the mat. Remember, you can always keep a nice deep bend in the knees, relaxing the belly onto the thighs. Then once you're ready, allow your interlaced fingers to guide you back to a halfway lift and then all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Release the grip, allowing the arms to relax by the sides. Rolling the shoulders back down along the spine a few times, up towards the ears, back down along the spine. And once you're ready, on an inhale, let's bring the arms high overhead. On an exhale, allow the hands to melt through heart center. Inhale, reach those fingertips high. On an exhale, we'll fold it forward, allowing the hands to melt through heart center as you hinge forward at your hips. On an inhale, let's lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. On an exhale, plant your palms, step it back to a high plank, top of a push-up. From here, lower onto your knees, taking a modified plank. Keep your core nice and engaged. Feel your belly button move towards the spine. Slide your head back into that imaginary head rest. Try not to allow the hips to drop down or stick out. You want to feel the rotation of pelvis towards navel. Remember that foosball action, that rotation of the pelvis towards your belly button. Holding it here. Then as slowly as you can, inch yourself forward. Lead with your chest here. Allow the elbows to bend, reaching towards the back of the room. Try to land with your chest first. Then from here, bring the tops of your feet onto the mat, the nail side of the foot. Engage your legs. Your feet are hip distance. Bring tented fingertips to frame the outsides of the mat. On an inhale, we'll reach the chest forward. On an exhale, dip one shoulder towards the center of the mat. On an inhale, take it back to center. On an exhale, take it to the other side. Take a few rounds here, moving at your own pace. Good. Once you're ready, you can lower all the way back down. Place the palms onto the mat. Lift it up to a tabletop. And then back into our downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. Taking a couple rounds of breath. And on your own time, at the bottom of an exhale, you can either step or jump to the top of your mat. Sit the hips down low, reach the fingertips high, bringing the feet hip distance from one another. Try to keep your knees stacked right above the ankles. You're sitting back into an imaginary chair. Instead of the butt sticking out, feel that rotation of pelvis towards navel. If it's uncomfortable to reach the arms high in line with the ears, you can always bring the arms in line with your shoulders as an alternative. Take a nice big inhale here. On an exhale, open up your chest towards the left, so you're actively reaching your fingertips in opposite directions. Inhale, take it to center. Exhale, let's open up the chest towards the right. Inhale, take it to center. Exhale, sit it down nice and low, palms face down. Finding airplane arms, rotating, rolling those shoulders back, and feel your shoulder blades move towards one another. Back of the neck is long. On an inhale, we'll rise it all the way up to standing, bringing the palms together to touch, reaching your heart high. Feel that rotation of pelvis towards navel to protect the low back. Feel your belly button move towards the spine. Maybe you reach your chest a little bit higher, back bending slightly more, but not forcing it. On your own time, take it back to an upright. On an exhale, allow the hands to melt through heart center, allowing the arms to relax by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms high overhead. On an exhale, let's fold it forward. On an inhale, lift it up halfway with a nice flat back. On an exhale, let's plant the palms, but from here, we're going to step the right foot back. So you're coming into a low lunge. You're planting the right sole of the foot. Bring your right palm flat if that's accessible to you. You can always tent fingertips or grab onto another surface to give you a little bit more height. We'll plant the left hand onto the thigh. Try to keep your left knee stacked right above the ankle as you begin to open up your chest towards the left side. Pay attention now to what your right hip is doing. Try not to collapse onto that right side. Feel the back of your right thigh, your hamstring, reach up towards the ceiling. And then we'll reach those left fingertips high. Taking a few rounds of breath here. As you inhale, you might lengthen the spine a little bit more. As you exhale, you might twist a little bit more. Sticking with that nice depth and rhythm of your breath. And on your own time, you can lower the hand down. We'll step it back in to our high plank, top of a push-up, taking that modified plank, lowering onto the knees. Keep the core engaged. From here, leading with the chest, lowering it all the way down onto the mat. Remember, your elbows move towards the back rather than out to the sides. Plant the tops of the feet onto the mat. Engage your legs, slide your hands back in line with your low ribs as you prepare to come into a low cobra. You can just lift a little bit here. If you're feeling a little bit more open, feel free to take it higher, but don't force it. Once you're ready, lower it down. Let's take it into a tabletop. and back into a down dog. Taking another round of breath here, or as many as you like. And once you're ready, you can look to the top of the mat. At the bottom of an exhale, you can step or jump forward, bringing the feet either hip distance or big toes together to touch. Just see where you want to take it. And we'll sit the hips down low, reaching the fingertips high, coming into our chair pose once again. Taking a moment to play around with the alignment, trying not to stick the butt out here, but you want to feel that rotation of pelvis towards navel, finding that nice neutral spine, maintaining that nice strong core. Take a nice big inhale. On an exhale, open up your chest to the right to begin on this side. Make sure your low body stays stationary from where you were in your chair pose. You want to make sure your knees are parallel to the front of the mat and the knees aren't going past the toes. On an inhale, let's take it back to center. On an exhale, let's open it up to the left side. Good. Inhale, take it to center. Exhale, sit down a little bit lower, finding those airplane arms, opening the heart. On an inhale, let's shoot it all the way up to standing palms together to touch as you reach your chest high. You can always stay upright if you're not really feeling this back bend at this time. See where you want to take it. Eventually on an exhale, allow the hands to melt through heart center down by the sides. On an inhale, let's reach the fingertips high. On an exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift it up halfway with your nice flat back. From here, we're gonna come into our low lunge on the other side. You can plant the palms. On this side, we'll step that left foot back. So we're planting the left sole of the foot. Make sure your right knee is stacked right above the ankle. You can find tented fingertips with your left hand. Maybe you're planting the palm. You can grab onto a block or a little surface if you need more height here. Bring your right hand to the right thigh as you begin to rotate your chest towards that right side wall. Pay attention to what your left thigh is doing on this side. You don't want to collapse here. So feel the back of your left thigh reach up towards the ceiling, really stabilizing you here. And then reach your right fingertips high. Breathing into this twist, inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, maybe twisting a little bit more. Just seeing where you want to take it on this side. And once you're ready, you can lower the hand down. We'll step it back to our high plank. And you can either take the modification that we just took in our flow, moving through modified chaturanga and low cobra, or maybe this time through feeling a little bit more open. You might move through chaturanga, keeping body flat as a board as you lower halfway down, then flipping onto the tops of the feet, coming into your up dog, allowing your knees and thighs to hover off the mat as the chest reaches forward, shoulders down away from ears. Eventually making your way into your downward facing dog. Taking a couple of rounds of breath here, taking any organic movement you might like, maybe nodding head right to left, up and down, maybe pedaling out the feet a bit here. And once you're ready, we'll step to the top of the mat. Bringing big toes together to touch or feet hip distance. And let's sit the hips down low, reaching the fingertips high. Bringing your hands to heart center. Again, making sure there's that rotation of pelvis towards the navel, so you're not sticking the butt out here. We're gonna come into a deeper twist. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, let's hook that right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Take a moment to check in here. So you're firmly pressing the palms into one another. Make sure your knees are in line with one another. If you notice that right knee pokes out in front of the left, scoot your right hip back to level off the hip so they're nice and squared off. Work on lengthening the spine. You can put a little pressure of that right elbow into the thigh, allowing you to lengthen your spine a little bit more. Then once the spine is long, on an exhale, you might twist a little bit more. Staying here for another couple rounds of breath, inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, maybe twisting, but not forcing it. On an exhale, let's fold it forward, let it all go. Heel toe your feet hip distance if the feet aren't already there. Grab onto your big toes with your peace fingers and thumbs. Press your big toe into those peace fingers. Find a slight bend in your knees. On an inhale, we'll pull against the grip of the toes, lifting up halfway. On an exhale, fold it forward. You can always keep that nice bend in the knees. allowing the belly to melt onto the thighs, allowing the elbows to reach out to the sides as you fold it deeper forward. Relax the back of your neck. You can nod your head right to left, up and down, releasing a little bit more tension from the back of the neck. And on your own time, release the grip. Find a gentle bend in the knees. Slowly roll it all the way up to standing. As you roll it up, your neck and head should be the very last things to rise. On an inhale, let's bring the arms high overhead. On an exhale, allow the hands to smell through heart center. Inhale, reach those fingertips high. On an exhale, let's fold it forward. Inhale, lift it up halfway with that nice flat back. On an exhale, plant your palms, step it back to a high plank, moving through your flow of choice. Seeing where you want to take it. Remember, if you come into up dog or any of your back bends, try not to allow the shoulders to shrug towards the ears. You want to stay lifted here. Nice long neck, broadening across the chest. Eventually, we all meet in our down dog. Taking another round of breath here. And on your own time, you can step to the top of the mat, big toes together or feet hip distance. We'll sit it down nice and low, coming into that chair pose. Bringing your hands to heart center, finding that nice neutral spine rotation of pelvis to navel. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, we'll twist to the right on this side. So bringing your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Remember to find length first to begin as you firmly press your palms into one another. On an exhale, maybe you twist a little bit more, but not forcing it. Make sure your hips are nice and squared off and that left knee isn't poking out in front of the right on this side. If it is, scoot your left hip back. Maybe trust yourself to sit back further into that imaginary chair. And on an exhale, fold it forward, let it all go. Heel toe the feet, hip distance. This time you have the option to either grip onto those big toes again, or you might slide your palms beneath the feet entirely. So you're getting the backs of the wrists onto your mat here. The toes are touching the wrists. They can massage the wrists. Find a slight bend in the knees. Pulling against whichever grip you have, you can lift it up halfway. Exhale, fold maybe a little bit deeper. Relaxing your head and neck wherever you are. Maybe nodding the head right to left, up and down. And once you're ready, you can release your hands. Find a nice deep bend in the knees. Let the torso hang heavy as you slowly roll it up one vertebra at a time. Neck and head rise last. Roll those shoulders back down along the spine. On an inhale, bring the arms high overhead. This time on an exhale, we'll just hinge forward at the hips. Inhale, lift it up halfway. On an exhale, plant your palms, step it back to your high plank. And then this time we'll take it right back into our down dog. You can pedal out the feet here, bending one knee, then the other. Just noticing already how our bodies feel so different with just taking some time to really build that awareness, some time to move. And once you're ready, at the bottom of an exhale, you can look to the top of your mat, stepping it forward, lowering down into a comfortable seated position. And from here, we'll just scooch down and lay all the way down. You can begin to walk your heels in towards your hips. Leaning your heels in close enough that you can lightly graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips. If you can grab onto the fronts of your ankles, your feet are likely a little bit too close to your hips. So you can walk them a little bit further forward if that's the case. We're going to grab onto the sides of the mat, preparing to come into our bridge pose. You can reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Your shoulder blades might come a little bit closer towards one another as your hips reach a little bit higher. You can also grab an interlace here of the fingers, feeling your palms move towards one another. Your arms are extended long towards the top of the mat, the side of the mat where your feet are. Feeling your shoulder blades may become even closer together. Maybe your hips reach even higher, but try to keep your knees stacked right above the ankles. Try not to allow them to flail out to the sides. Envision a block between your thighs, feeling those nice strong legs. And once you're ready to make your way down, release the interlace, release the shoulder blades, and lower down from upper, middle, to lower back. And from here, heel toe your feet forward and out towards the wide edges of the mat. And then windshield wiper the knees, allowing one knee in, the other knee out, releasing some tension from the low back. Once you're ready, you can begin to slow it down, taking it back to center. Walk your feet back in line with your hips. And from here, let's bring the right ankle above the left knee. Really flex your right foot. We'll come into a figure four here, or if you're already feeling this quite a bit, you can stay right here. But to come deeper, you can begin to bring your left knee towards your chest, interlacing your fingers across your left hamstring or across your left shin, keeping your right foot nice and flexed, seeing where your depth is here, breathing into it. Good. Once you're ready, you can release the grip, unwinding the legs, and we'll come right onto the other side. So bringing your left ankle right above that right knee onto the thigh. Keep your left foot nice and flexed. It helps to protect your knee, especially as you come deeper into this posture. If you want to take it deeper, bringing your right knee towards your chest, interlacing fingers either across your right shin or your right hamstring, the back of your right thigh. And take a little attention towards the back of the neck. Some of us end up feeling the chin come upward. Instead, see if you can get the back of the neck long, feeling your chest tilt slightly. Feeling your chin tilt slightly towards your chest. Seeing where your depth is on this side. Breathing into it. And once you're ready, release, unwinding the legs. And from here, let's invite the left knee towards the chest. Extend your right leg long. We're going to take a wind removing pose first before coming into our twist. You can begin to invite your left knee in towards your armpit. If you're feeling really open, you might bring your left hand to the bottom of your left foot, taking the knee even deeper towards the armpit, but not forcing it. And once you're ready to come into your twist, release the grip a bit. Place your right hand on the outside of your left thigh. Extend your left arm out in line with your shoulder like a wing. Keep that left shoulder grounded on the mat as you begin to invite your left knee across the body towards the right side wall. Bring your gaze towards the left fingertips, really bringing out the body here. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, maybe you twist a little bit more. Eventually taking it back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers across your right shin. Extend the left leg long all the way down onto the mat. Let's take that wind removing pose to begin, inviting your right knee towards your armpit, trying to avoid the rib cage. Maybe take it deeper by grabbing onto the bottom of your right foot with your right hand, bring the knee even deeper towards the floor. And once you're ready, we'll prepare to come into our twist on the other side. Release the grip a bit of your leg. Extend your right arm out in line with the shoulder like a wing. And from here, we'll guide your right knee across your body towards the left side. Bring your gaze towards your right fingertips, keeping that right shoulder grounded on the mat. Seeing where your depth is on this side. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, maybe twist a little bit more. And once you're ready, you can take it back to center, hugging your knees in towards your chest, rocking from right to left. You can draw little circles on the ceiling with your knees, massaging out your sacrum. And you can take it in the opposite direction. Good. Once you're ready, take it to center. Wrap your arms across your shins, tucking yourself into a tiny little ball, bringing your forehead towards your knees, giving yourself a nice big hug, feeling that sense of gratitude inhale as much as you can through the nose, and on an exhale, release onto your mat, extending your feet towards the top of the mat. Relaxing fingers, relaxing toes, allowing the arms to relax by the sides, slightly away from your side body, with your palms face up for that greater sense of openness, or you can face them down if you need a little bit more grounding today. Just see where you want to take it. With each round of breath, allow yourself to melt a little bit deeper into your mat. Just taking advantage of this time of stillness as we allow our body to rest, as we allow our mind to rest. It's like recharging a battery. Thank you for moving with me today and for holding me accountable to you. It's been a pleasure. I'm sending lots of love and positive energy your way. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.